With IPL season kicking off, fantasy gaming is all the rage right now. It's fun, super duper interesting, and at the same time, there are some apprehensions, and we really do not know much about it. Today, I'm joined by Sai Srinivas, co founder and CEO at Mobile Premier League, to give us a primer on what is fantasy gaming. Welcome to SG Tech.
Thank you, Kul. Really nice to be with you here today.
First of all, my first question is what is fantasy gaming?
Right. So, fantasy gaming is essentially the ability that for you to be a selector yourself, right? It's the ability for you to actually choose the playing 11 and see how the playing 11 would fare against other users playing 11, right? It allows every user to get a piece of that, get a piece of picking their own squad, if I may say, right? Of course, as far as MPL is concerned, we are a mobile esports platform. We have multiple different games. Fantasy is definitely sizable, but it's just part of our business, one part of our business, and our focus primarily is to bring esport tournaments like ability for users from across the world and in fact in India to compete in large scale tournaments, and fantasy being one of the kind of tournaments that we host.
As I was saying earlier, that there is a lot of apprehensions, and is it a borderline gambling, and how's it different? Can you just explain this for our users, audience?
Sure. See, cool. To start with, I'm not a legal expert, right? And from what I understand, there are skill-based games, which are obviously legal, and the skill-based games like chess, carom, pool, archery, and then there are a bunch of different luck-based games which are not legal to be played for prize money, right? As far as MPL is concerned, the games that we run are purely games of skill. They go through a very rigorous vetting process where we use expert opinions from both the legal side of it and as well as statistical models to determine skill level in each game. Say, take a simple example of chess, right? Or for that matter, pool. As the more you keep playing it, you just keep getting better and better at it, right? And that's a simple example of a game where the predisposition of skill is much larger than anything else, right? So, and there are, of course, in all of this, then there are, of course, very, very core, universally accepted games of skill like chess and pool. But then there are a bunch of other games. But like I said, I'm not a legal expert on this. But as far as MPL is concerned, all the games that we run are pure play games of skill.
There is one worry that it's slightly addictive, and in this case, addiction is not just spending hours on a game, but also losing some bit of money as well as. And so, do you think that it's a problem, and how do you plan to tackle it?
Right. See, that's a great question. And I think there are two parts to my responses here. See, the first part is being responsible and encouraging users to be responsible gamers, right? For example, MPL only allows adults on its platform. We have strong KYC systems to make sure that that indeed is the case. We also adhere to prominent self-regulatory charters for skill games and responsible gaming. Our terms and conditions also clearly lay out and advise users to play the game responsibly. In fact, to give you an overview, I am in fact working with FICCI. We've set up a FICCI task force for for esports and fantasy. Lastly, even though we are a mere 2-year-old company, right, you'll see us become one of the youngest gaming companies to bring in responsible gaming features like warnings, and in fact, not allowing the user to play beyond a certain point in the next quarter or two, right? And the second part is not all games are. You should not look at all games with one view, right? For example, chess, right? If a pro chess player or a pro pool player, or for that matter, a pro first-person shooter player is playing and practicing the game for 6 or 8 hours, that's not called addiction. So if you played cricket for 6 or 8 hours in a day, would you be called? Are you addicted to cricket? No, you are just getting better at the sport you love, right? And if someone's playing chess for 8 hours or someone's playing pool for 8 hours, I don't think that you should look at that in the same parlance as you would look at addiction in general, right? I think it's very important that we demarcate professional esport players, which are and we demarcate these guys from the set of games which are played purely for entertainment only. Which is honestly why, if you ask me, we need regulations, right? We need to have a very, very clear regulatory framework for this.
And I was just coming to this topic that about the regulations. How well regulated is this space right now in the country? Because while there is a little bit of knowledge about this industry, but we don't really know what are the ethical things and what are the non-ethical things and unethical things, and how does this thing entire this space operate?
Sure. See, like I told you before, right? I'm not the right person to say what the text of regulations should look like. That's for the lawyers and the experts to figure out. But as a business person, what I can clearly tell you is MPL will always be fully compliant uh, and cooperate with any government or self-regulatory body in abiding by these regulations. Right? We are more than happy to just do what these bodies tell us to do. The second point is that regulatory clarity will only bring in more investment into the sector, right? Because what regulations will do is they will bring stability to the ecosystem. They will bring clarity to the ecosystem, and that allows entrepreneurs and, for that matter, other folks who are building small businesses to build atop of it with a solid foundation, right? And I think that as and when that happens, sooner rather than later, I think that you'll see this industry grow from strength to strength.
Uh, Now, I want to ask about why all these fantasy gamings are available through APKs, not through Google Play Store. And can you tell us what is it, if for the people who are watching this, how does this thing happen?
So I think cool. That's a great question, but I think that's a question that's honestly best asked to Google. Uh, MPL has always been on the iOS App Store, and in fact, some of our peers are also available on the iOS App Store, right? Uh, I mean, I think I think the debate. This is a good debate to be had. I think the ecosystem is having this debate right now. I think it's important that all the stakeholders in the ecosystem get together and strongly have a conversation around this. Right? See, if there's so much of advertising happening, then I think it makes a lot of sense for people to actually sit down and have a conversation about it. And I'm happy, to be honest, that some of the stalwarts in our industry are coming out and talking about this, because it's high time we had a conversation around this.
Great, great. So when we talk about fantasy gaming right now, and just because we watch a lot of IPL for that matter, and we think that the Dream 11 is the only kind of a fantasy gaming. So how MPL is different or similar to Dream 11? Can you explain what else can be explored in this fantasy gaming space?
Right, right. So, firstly, I think the most important thing that needs to be understood, Kul, is that MPL is an esports platform, right? We 95 or 99% of what we will do in today or in the long term is completely focused around digital sport. We do not, and we are not interested and do not want to do a lot of things with the physical part of the ecosystem. That is the physical sport part of the ecosystem. We of course want to promote it, encourage it, and invest in it. But in the app, our focus is primarily towards digital sport. When I say digital sport, people competing with each other in India and in fact across the world in digital sports like chess, carom, pool, which the ones that I mentioned before, right? Right. In fact, to be honest, when we launched in October 8, 2018, right? September, sorry, 2018, we did not even have fantasy. We did not even launch fantasy. It was only much later that we'd actually launched fantasy. Our focus is simply to make our platform more and more viable to game developers, where Indian game developers can publish their games and users can come and compete in large tournaments, and these game developers earn money. We pride ourselves on how much money our game developers earn. We do not pride ourselves on how much revenue we earn. We are single-mindedly focused on building a rock solid developer ecosystem, right? And that is fundamentally very, very different from what, say, other folks in the industry, some examples which you mentioned, are doing, right? They are focused players. They are focused around building a fantasy ecosystem, and that's a great business, right? And we also are, a part of our business is also doing that. However, our focus is to build a great platform for Indian developers. And in fact, I'm glad that the Indian government, and indeed the Honorable Prime Minister himself, spoke about the need to encourage local game developers, right? And we want to be the platform that allows our developers to monetize their product and gain from cross-pollination as we grow the platform outside of India, right? And also gain, our local developers will also gain because of the marketing and the brand building that we are doing, thanks to great stalwarts like Virat and some of the other folks who are endorsing our platform, right? So that is the fundamental difference, right? The difference between us and other fantasy operators is other fantasy operators are focused on fantasy. We are focused on our developer ecosystem. We want our game developers to make great games, and very soon you'll hear a lot of exciting developments on how we are investing heavily in some of our developers.
I remember covering MPL at least 1.5 years ago, and it was a relatively a smaller startup at the time. And in the past couple of years, I've seen that the MPL has grown exponentially, and you have recently raised a lot of funding.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what is MPL planning next?
I hope we are planning a lot of things, and I'm firstly very glad that our investors have shown such faith. I mean, to give you a little bit of context, every single investor who's invested in MPL has only gone on to invest more than their pro rata every single time they've had an opportunity. And for me, that for me as a founder and a CEO is very, very important. When your shareholders repose their trust in you and continue to invest in the company. I think the second thing that we're doing, and we're doing very, very well, we are very happy about is the fact that we're doing this large ESOP buyback. And for a 2-year-old company to do that, I think is very good. And I hope this sets a precedent in the market. And we will continue to do this every single time we have the opportunity to do it, right? To reward our employees, because I think it's due time that our ecosystem generates a lot of wealthy people because of their work in startups, because of how hard they worked in building up this ecosystem. So first proceeds of that money in way is to buy back our ESOPs, ensure that the people who worked really, really hard reap some rewards. And apart from that, of course, the larger part of the proceeds in the longer term for us is to take MPL to other geographies as well, right? We've not had any consumer company in India, right? I was thinking of saying gaming company, but when it struck me that there's rarely any consumer company out of India, I think that's actually gone out and spread its wings outside of India and became a global consumer product, right? I mean, there's no company, very few guys have done that, right? And we want to do that, right? And because we want to do that, because we believe that we are ideally placed to do that, right? Games, I keep saying this everywhere, right? Games have no language, right? They are the only form of content which doesn't have a language, right? That's the beauty of a game, right? It's the oldest language known to man, right? Literally, people used to play. There are so many archaeological data points that prove to that, right? And that, I believe, is why we as a product are very well placed to go to multiple countries, and hopefully, 2 or 3 years down the line, or sooner than that, ideally, you will probably see a tournament where Indians are competing with Americans, are competing with Germans, are competing with British citizens, competing with Brazilians on MPL. And I think more than any money, more than any valuation, more than anything else, I think the ability to make those competitions happen on a digital realm, I think would be more satisfying to me than any amount of value that you ascertain to it, right? Because that essentially is like the Olympics of esports, and that's where we want to get to. So that's the first part, right? The second part, as always, is investing in our developer platform, right? We walk the talk, right? We just don't say we are a developer platform, and we just don't, we don't just do it for the sake of PR. We walk the talk every single time, right? We have the largest collaborations with developers. We publish some of the largest games, and in the very near future, you will see us recommit a significant amount of money into developers, and you'll also see us invest money into places where we are promoting cutting edge AAA level game innovations out of India. And we believe that if we do not invest money into our developers, then we are doing a great disservice to ourselves, and in fact, great disservice to this country. And that I think would be the pardon me. That I think would be the two key focus areas for us post this fundraise. And I think, in all honesty, if you ask me this question after the next fundraise or even after we go public, I'll continue to keep saying the same thing. That will be our two focus areas. We keep spreading our wings, hosting bigger and bigger and bigger tournaments globally. And secondly, keep investing in our developers and keep making them, become world class winners.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for explaining fantasy gaming and discussing all the related questions. Thank you so much for your time. Wish you the best.
My pleasure. My pleasure, Kul. As always, great chatting with you. I hope you have a great cricket season, and in fact, hopefully a good festive season that's coming up. Take care.